With the 19th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Verse, defensive end, Florida State.
Yeah, they got some juice. I mean, you're not going to be able to replace Aaron Donald, but it can be a collective group effort. And this is a rugged, physical pass rusher. I've made this comment about Jared Verse throughout the process. He comes in clear packaging. There's making no mistakes about who he is and what he's about. He is a bully on the edge. He is explosive with his hands and his feet. He's a little bit lower version of Will Anderson, who we saw go last year and be the Rookie of the Year with the Houston Texans. But he's going to test your brakes. You want to go to the car dealership and test your brakes for free? He will test the brakes of offensive tackles for free across the NFL. Watch this. He's just running them right back into the quarterback. That's what he does. He also has the speed. He'll mix that in, try and win at the top of the rush. But more than anything else, he's going to go through your pads. The quickness shows up against the run. He can hold up the front side, and then he can be disruptive on the backside as well. But a very rugged, physical football player, showing you the effort to get right back off the ground there. I'm a big fan of his game, CD.
With the 19th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Verse, defensive end, Florida State.
Now just makes so much sense. The value here, Bucky, is huge.
Yeah, the value made a lot of sense, but more importantly, the player makes sense. You see it in the tombstone, bully. This dude is a bully off the edge, explosive first step quickness. He is a power player. When I liken him, not making the player comparison to Khalil Mack, but he uses Khalil Mack's playing style to be able to get it done. You see him put his hand right in the middle of the blocker's chest, and he is going to use a two-way go to be able to get to the quarterback. Super explosive, super dynamic, and productive at every level. First at Albany, then for 2 years at Florida State. This dude had 18 sacks and a bunch of tackles for loss. He is a productive player who's going to fit right in to this Rams scheme.
When you watched him coming up from Albany, his first game was against LSU, not this last year, but the year before, and it didn't look too big for him in game one. He really flashed right away and then kept getting better and better. Jared Verse is a grown man. It reminds me of Lamar Woodley when Woodley came out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is much more physical than his size. I think he's going to ultimately play around 260 pounds, but he has elite explosiveness into first contact. And it's not just as a speed to power rusher. It's also at the point of attack where he plays so much bigger and longer than you think he's going to. He doesn't have long arms, but he's so fast into the tackle that he gets into the tackle first almost every single time at the point of attack. He's got the sweet arm over that he just showed there that can beat you from a penetration standpoint as a rusher or as a run defender. He showed what kind of athlete he was at the combine. But I think more than anything, he's tough. This is a bad boy. Now, he is going to get after you every single snap, and I like the toughness and the edge that he gives the Rams.
The Carolina Panthers have traded the 39th pick to the Los Angeles Rams. With the 39th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Braden Fiske, Florida State D tackle. We got two Seminoles in the house now.
He's referring to Jared Verse being the first round choice of last night. They add Braden Fiske to the mix.
Yeah, they're very close friends as well. This is a polar opposite player of the one we just saw go off the board in T'Vondre Sweat. When you watch Fiske, he is explosive. You saw it at the combine with how he tested. He can really get up the field. He can roll through his hips at the point of attack, get off blocks, and make plays. He does not have length, doesn't have long arms, but he didn't play that way. He didn't play short arm when you studied him. Very physical. The effort is outstanding. He never stops working towards the quarterback. When I was watching tape, this is one of my favorite plays against Clemson. He's late to run on the field. He's literally sprinting onto the field as they snap the ball. And I'm sitting here going, okay, what's he going to do? Oh, he just destroys somebody as he's running onto the field. So if you're going to be late to the party, make your entrance known.
That's right. Apparently that wasn't legal. We just saw there was a flag on the play right there.
He's Nuke LaLoosh announced his presence with authority.
I was thinking the exact same thing. One thing about him, too, not just the effort player. He's much more than that. But don't put the effort aside. The best retrace guy in the game in college football, where he would rush the passer, retrace back to where a play is going to develop, screens, swings, plays downfield, and make plays on the football. Absolutely incredible. And what he did at the Senior Bowl, switching teams on the last day and playing all the plays. He's that guy.
So rekindling the connection, Braden Fiske joining Jared Verse, where they wreaked havoc on ACC offensive lines this last year once they got together. Both transferred in from smaller programs and excelled at the highest level. What do you got on Fiske here, Lance?
Well, to me, he reminds me a lot of Kyle Williams. Remember the great Kyle Williams out of LSU who played with the Buffalo Bills. He was somebody who could get into the backfield. It just was just a problem. He came from the MAC, and he got tired of the MACtion, so he went over to the ACC and was completely too much for the interior blockers there. He's off the ball in a snap. He is always looking for the edge and finding ways to get around your block. He's a short-armed defensive tackle, which can be an issue at times, but because he's so quick off the snap, he's usually first man into contact. I think there will be some issues from a size standpoint against NFL offensive guards, but just his pure effort, his motor, and his foot quickness is going to make him a very, very difficult player to deal with along the interior for many of the players he matches up with. And I like pairing these two guys back together. I like the idea of pairing Verse back with Braden Fiske. They didn't lose a game this year when they played together. Not one game. Of course, they didn't play against Georgia. We write that one off. We don't talk about that one much. But when they played together, I mean, they wreaked havoc, and that was a special defense to watch.
And with the 83rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the two-time Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams select
Corum.
Yes! Les Snead, you are a genius. You are hitting the jackpot. You too, Sean McVay. You betcha. You have a winner coming to Los Angeles, and all I have to say is hello, neighbor. Right across the street, whatever you need from NFL Network, I got you covered. What a superb choice. And this Rams offense is going to love him. Los Angeles is going to love him. He is going to light it up in the NFC West. I give you the rest.
I knew he was going to Los Angeles, Rich. I just didn't know which team. Vision and balance there for Blake Corum. That's his calling card. Instinctive runner. These sharp cuts, the change of direction. He found his way into the paint a zillion times there for the Wolverines. In the hole, one-on-one. This is Jack Campbell on this one. Gets his feet to stop. Doesn't even get a hand on him. He's able to make him miss. You want to throw him the ball out of the backfield? You know that's going to happen with the Rams, with Matthew Stafford. He's going to be able to complement Kyren Williams there in that backfield. Again, another example, Joel, of that vision. Running back, look, some people say, give me the biggest, fastest, toughest guy. If you have no vision, none of that matters. He's got unbelievable vision, balance, and feel.
He would just make the defensive front pay. A lot of those concepts are kind of duo, his choice, where he wants to go in the gap. And he would constantly choose the right hole because someone would jump outside of their gap. He did it against Penn State. He did it against Ohio State. He did it against Alabama. The guy just produced. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. Blake Corum, just as a person, is easily top 2 or 3 college football players I've ever had the pleasure to cover. He constantly has a smile on his face, and he constantly takes care of people around him. The turkey drive right here, you guys know it, right here in Detroit and around Ann Arbor, giving away 300, 500 frozen turkeys Thanksgiving week. The day before he plays Ohio State. That's the type of guy he is. One of my favorite all time.
And he's been a pro.
Perfect.
Rich, he's been a pro since he's been a young kid.
Already has the maze. Well. Just a different shade of blue. Fantastic.
With the 99th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Kamren Kinchens, defensive back, Miami.
Yeah, one of the top safeties in this class. Production, 11 picks in just the last 2 years. Jair Brown out of Penn State was the comparison. They ran the identical 40 at the combine, 4.65. He runs 4.55 or lower. You would see him off the board. That was the only knock on him, the only concern. When it comes to safeties, though, if you've got quick eyes, you can make up for a lack of pure speed because you get a jump on the ball, and he sees very clearly. He's quick to trigger downhill. He's excellent as a tackler in the hole. You see him unload right here against Texas A&M, and there's the blitzing from depth, able to get Drake May on the ground. The one negative play he had was in the crazy finish against Georgia Tech. The ball got over his head late in that ball game, but on the whole, this is a very productive, instinctive guy.
I mean, to be fair to him, they shouldn't have been in that.
Shouldn't have been in that situation.
Shouldn't have been in that
situation.
Yeah, the one thing, you want a ball hawk in that NFC West, because now you're dealing with, he's going out there to the Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco, and the way they pitch it around, Seattle and all the receivers they throw at you. In NFL football, if you can take away one possession, that could mean the biggest difference in football there, because most games are what in the NFL? One possession games.
He had 11 picks, guys. In the last 25 years, the only Miami players to have 11 double-digit picks, Ed Reed, Sean Taylor.
Pretty good name.
They're pretty good company.
They're pretty good.
With the 154th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Brennan Jackson, defensive end, Washington State.
I like Brennan Jackson. Brennan Jackson, to me, has got a chance to become an eventual starter over there. Good size, plays like his hair's on fire every snap. I know old friend Wade Phillips would have absolutely loved him when he was over at the Rams. So this feels like a Wade Phillips pick too, because Wade loves guys who attack the pocket with a consistent motor, and that's what Brennan Jackson has. He's also big and physical. I mean, we're talking about a player who's in the mid-260s, and everything you see of him, I think Brennan Jackson is going to be a much more productive NFL player than many of the edge defenders that I've seen drafted. I'm surprised he fell this far in one sense because of the profile of tape, but nobody I talked to was really excited about him except one team. I thought he was more like a fourth-round prospect. He goes in the fifth, but Brennan Jackson, to me, fits what the Rams have done along the edge over the last several years.
Cynthia, this is still an organization moving on, obviously, from Aaron Donald. Hit a home run last year with Kobe Turner, obviously, on that defensive line. Verse, Fiske, and now Jackson. It seems like they're fully aware. We got to get after the quarterback here with some of these selections.
All righty. With the 196th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Tyler Davis, defensive tackle, Clemson.
Tyler Davis actually has some good tape.
I go right to it, man. Yeah. I thought we were going to comment on.
Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Okay. Tyler Davis can stop the run. He's powerful at the point of attack. He played. I thought his effort level is as good as Ruko Rororo. I think he's a good player. Now let's get to Australians.
Well, 3 rows, by the way, just to be abundantly clear.
row.
Yes.
With the 209th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the 2 Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams select Joshua Karty, kicker, Stanford University. Go! Welcome to Los Angeles.
Josh Karty was the pick right now. Very solid kicker, has big leg. The NFL loves 50-plus legs, and he's got the 50-plus leg.
With the 213th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jordan Whittington, wide receiver, Texas. Congratulations.
I like him. Got good size, plays to his size. He doesn't play like a little finesse guy, Bucky. He says, look, I'm supposed to play in the middle. I'll take on, I'll run over the middle. You want to hit me, go ahead and hit me, but I'm going to keep coming in here. He displays a good feel for route structure and how he's going to run his routes. You see right there, gave you a little shake and go. He can change up speeds on you. He's not going to be the fastest wide receiver out there. He's not going to be the best athlete, but he's tough and he'll also block. Beaux Limmer, a lot of people will talk about Beaux Limmer. He got bullied by Tavondre Sweat at a Senior Bowl rep, and this is the worst. For centers who get beat up by guys who are about 60 pounds heavier, and everyone they never forget that rep. They act like that's the only rep you ever had.
Left a lasting image.
Man, I know. It's like
turtle shit.
But you knew the cameras are going to be on Tavondre Sweat. But Beaux Limmer can play guard. Beaux Limmer can play center. He plays a little bit upright. But I thought there were times his tape was even better than Ricky Stromberg, who got drafted earlier and a year before as a center. Beaux Limmer can play guard and center. But the thing I like about him is he plays with good strength and push at the point of attack. His testing was insane at the combine. I got to pull it up Mike, if you can pull it up, his testing, there were some numbers in there I remember thinking that this is not right. I think it was his vertical and his broad jump. No, his vertical and his bench press. I think he was over 34-inch vertical and 34 reps in well, here he is as
the bench was 39, by the way, most among all players.
What was his vertical?
Vertical was 36 and a half, and the broad
those
9.2.
are insane numbers for a center. A 36.5-inch vertical and 39 reps, Bucky. What are we? Are we explosive off the ground, or are we powerful? I guess he's both.
We want to be explosive off the ground. We want to be powerful, all that.
With the 254th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select KT Leveston, tackle, Kansas State.
Maybe a tackle, maybe a guard. He was a left tackle over at Kansas State. Physical. On this tape, you're going to see him playing right next to Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. And so when you see those two guys on double teams, it is rough now.